Okay, NPC tier list right now. All right, S tier Haldor. Thank you for watching this tier list. All right, April Fools, everybody. April Fools, everybody. Oh yes. Uh, Gotta pad the timeout to make it look like people like I'm actually talking about non-existent Valheim NPCs. Gotta sell the joke, you know. Now, what am I going to talk about? Well, I come to you wearing a very specific set of armor, custom set, for a reason. This was basically tied for the best set, Wolf Cape, Lox Cape, when Valheim first dropped. Yeah, look at this. Troll leather pants and tunic, quality 3. We couldn't get it to quality 4 back then. Lox or wolf fur cape. Fully upgraded padded helmet for a total of 56 armor. That was the best. Same principles as pretty much everybody has full understanding of with like basic light armor sets and Mistlands and the combos. It is the most protection while keeping you the most mobile. That's sort of the idea. Of course, light armor sets are a little bit more complicated than that now because of specific pieces and specific resistances like Fenris Blessing, Fenris pieces, Root Harness. It's more complicated than that right now, and I would argue that metal helmets are like completely phased out by Fenris Hood. It's just even more efficient to run your Fenris Hood or Eiderweave Hood if you're a mage right now. It's just so good. This is why we need like a Plains light armor set to be an even bigger alternative. Look at the way the padded helmet is reflecting with the light here. That is beautiful. Oh, it's gorgeous. But anyway, yeah, this was the best. Me and my friend beat Yaglith for the very first time, back when he was super easy, with Frostners and this armor. And we went through the whole plains, did our whole first and second playthroughs with this. Yeah, it was doing good. It was doing very well. And we were bad. Let me tell you, we were not good. And we still destroyed Yaglith with these. I mean, we fought him twice. So we were like, okay, let's do him again. So we got used to him pretty fast, even though he was much easier then. We were so bad. Fulling camps, we did like sneak knife and bow. We would hide in like the plains bushes, and like we were so terrified of fulling berserkers back then. Oh man, those were the days. But I really do wish that I knew more about like at-gear stagger locks back then, because even though they cost like every at-gear cost 24 stamina to poke, the food balanced it out, because a lot of the food was way buffed up. Like sausages gave 60 health, 40 stam. Lox meat pie was 80 health, 80 stam. Fish wraps was like, was a 25 health, 95 stam, or something absurd like that. They were really good. Food was really good to balance that out. Now, of course, fullings hit harder and things like that. But, at-gear middle mouse, the black metal age is still insanely strong back then. And, you had to stam for it. And I rated it high. I rated it in A tier back then. Foolishly, low A tier, like, low. Like, I put that below Frostner. That's goofy. Like, no. Same level as Frostner, honestly. Like, those two were beasts among beasts. And I also didn't experiment with sledges back then, which is absolutely foolish, because Iron Sledge was still amazing back then. It's just I didn't know it. People didn't know it. So it went by the by. People didn't really see it. They were like, oh, well, it's so slow and stamina costing and, leaves you vulnerable. And this is true, but the hitbox is so good that you can just use it while you're safe. It's free hits, like, so good. the king of situations, the sledges. And now that the Mistlands is out, everybody has a good understanding of it with like Demolisher and things. Like so many people bring a Demolisher to the mines, to like certain fights. You know, spoilers for the Mistlands boss. People bring Demolishers there. You know, of course, Staff Members covers that niche of that AOE. It does it excellently if you're a mage, but still. Iron Sledge is something that I would have loved to use back then. What also I would have loved to use back then is Huntsman Bow. I just skipped Huntsman Bow like a good old little Viking back in vanilla Valheim. It's like that's what everybody did. That's still what most people do. They're like, okay, look, Finewood Bow, it can handle drakes. I can one-shot them from a distance with a wood arrow with the Finewood Bow. Why do I need to spend iron to make a bow that's not even going to benefit me too much in the next biome? And the answer is, it has a huge benefit in the biome after that. And it's 100% accurate. The lowest stam costing bow to be 100% accurate. And so I didn't know, of course, you know, that's the most forgiving thing out of all of it. It's like, how would you know that the Huntsman Bow has a 4 meter aggro radius instead of 8? Like, you would not know. It does not say. Like, it is a wiki thing that they added, like, later. Like, you would not know at the time. So, all is forgiven in that sort of thing. Yeah. Really though, like Huntsman Bow for falling camps and everything, Iron Sledge for so many other things, like so good in like sunken crypts and certain mountains when you have a rock vantage point, like being hunted. Even in the plains, that can be good on a rock vantage point. I've already made a sledge guide. You know, it was good back then. We just didn't know it. It's like so many little bits and pieces where the pre-Mistlands run, even disregarding the additional armors and how that benefits us, you know, Root and Fenris. The vanilla strats that I'm still figuring out and teasing out of the system is so much more than what I had thought it was back in the day. It's fucking remarkable. And I can only imagine now that we're getting into like a decent level of complexity with like pseudo rotations with magic stuff and such. Like, oh man, exciting times. Like, hello, we're getting into some really interesting days of strats. Like something interesting. Again, Queen spoilers. Watch out, Queen spoilers. You look at the first phase of the Queen, and it seems like the theory for melee characters, or if you're just a melee guy, like take your Root Harnesk, or just, you know, you're probably going to have Bone Mass instead if you're co-op. But Root Harnesk, Serpent Scale Shield, they're two different layers of defense. One of them is a shield layer, the other one is a body layer. So they apply together, they stack. And the Pierce Resistance of Bone Mass, which is body, and the Root Harnesk, which is also body, they don't stack. They're the same layer. But Serpent Scale Shield and Root Harnesk / Bone Mass do stack. Which means that on a world where there's like 5+ people fighting the Queen at the same time, the Queen's dealing like 0.2 damage to you through the shield with her like sextuple ground pierce attack. You know, I got that on video. It's well documented now. It's just so good. Ridiculously strong. Now, that being said, the knockback is atrocious for you. Like, you know, you get that parry, or not the parry, the block and then you get sent back. You just like woo, sent back. Let's get rid of this jank armor now. You get sent way back, and so even though I'm wearing like light armor and I have all of this protectiveness regardless, what does that matter if you're just getting sent back into like the void? Like it's cool, like you can block her and then like it only takes like 6 stam or like limited stam, and it's more convenient than like rolling because it poises you better for like attacks in certain situations. I'll get to that, but definitely better than parry, which takes 20 stam at like minimal block levels. And so bosses don't stagger anyway, and now you're in a situation where it's like, okay, great. You know, why did I waste all that stamina for when I could have just like rolled? But no, blocking actually takes even less stamina than rolling if you know how to use it right. And it's never been as right as it is in that situation, taking like 0.2 damage versus the queen, because you can mitigate her knockback. Sentinel strats, baby, sentinel strats. You position yourself in a way to hold a position, to hold a point in the game. And that point is going to be the stairwell corner of one of the stairs. So you keep yourself there facing the wall. She's going to be right up in your face. That's where you want her. And you're going to block that pierce attack. You're going to come at her with a middle mouse. And then you're going to get ready to block. You're just going to like hold it down. You're going to boom, hold that down and you'll block it. Of course, she has sweep slashes. So you're just going to roll forward those. But if you're against a wall and she's pinning you against a wall, you know, you're not going anywhere. You can just immediately counter. Immediately counter. It is just so convenient for that first phase of DPS. Now, of course, she gets to like 75% HP, and we are changing phases. Uh-oh, we're entering a new phase where she can spit all of her little broods everywhere, and that's no good, right? So what happens? You have to be careful. You have to get ready. I mean, you already had to get ready because Queen has her summons. So like she has a call. You can get a bunch of attacks in as she like wriggles around, be like you know, and you have to back off in that moment. You know, you can't just be pinned against some area because like, 2 seekers are coming and a couple of broods too. So you gotta back off a little bit. Switch over to like just Mist Walker, because shield's not gonna provide you any benefits in that situation. You just want to like smack the hell out of the seekers. Of course, Hymen works well. Queen is resistant, like really resistant to pierce and not slash for some reason. So Hymen versus Queen, not very good. Hymen versus like seekers, very good. You can like space them out and keep somewhat of a decent range from the Queen. You want to be in that mid-range or mid-close range when she enters her second phase at around 75% HP, because that's the distance where she really likes to start to spew her little broods at you. And you don't want to get hit by that. You know, poison, like huge amount of just raw damage, slime, so it has that control. If you are slimed, roll. It's the same thing like getting tarred. It doesn't slow your roll, just roll. Spam roll to safety until you're good. Luckily, slime doesn't last nearly as long as tarred, but still, just roll. She can't really do a directly down spew at you. What does that mean? That means you want to bait her out like you bait out lasers with Yag. And you can do a spew counter the same way that you can do laser counter strats. So you're waiting around in the mid-range. Oh, she's entering that spew animation. She's like gargling. You're like, woo, I'm coming in hot. And then all sorts of DPS, you know, which is very good. Like you get that big situation, and then you can bust out the demolisher, and then you can see if I can demonstrate this well. Basically, oh, hang on, there's like a bunch of breakable stuff around here. It's all breakable. This would be in the hotbar for that fight. It would be like this. Like this, with this here. This would be like up here for that. So it'd be like yeah, that's good. This is a good hotbar for queen. This would be replaced by something else because you're not going to be using that to parry. Basically, it would be you run in, woo 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 woo, swish swish, switch, boom, and you probably don't even need to go that far or that high. So disregard my run and jump 100 have an ass. You know, you run in, smack her while the broods are all missing you, and then you get rid of all the broods in one fell swoop, and then you literally just swap back and return to the mid range, and you can sort of rinse and repeat at this mid close range, dealing with seekers as they come. You know, as she yells, you can just go up and she's going to enter her next phase, which is her burrowing and I think what was it? She also has like the bite when she starts to spew, but that's fine. It's like you literally just roll that. Or no, it's a piercing attack. You can literally just like block it. But no, it's better to roll because Serpent Scale Shield slows you down so much. You literally just better to roll the bite. Roll inward and then try to punish her bite as much as possible. Probably just middle mouse if I'm being honest. While you're up close, as you roll in for the bite, I would recommend whipping out Serpent Scale Shield, because she could just go right back to doing the piercing slam attack, at which point you can just block that, and then you return back to the mid range at that point, which is fine because you can bait her stuff out in the mid range just fine. You bait out the spew, and you sort of rinse and repeat, you know, as she calls. Stick to the mid-range, deal with the seekers, return, you know, punish her as she's, like, screeching, like, you know. Deal with that, all good. And, the only thing that you have to worry about now is the burrow. As she burrows, even as she's, like, looks like her whole body is underneath the burrow, so this is, like, phase 3, right? She's burrowing, and then she also has a charge available to her at, like, half health or so. Now you can attack her while she's burrowing. Yay! You just get a bunch of hits in, and you are sitting pretty. Where's she burrowing to? Well, could be like anywhere, you know. You just got to go around and find her. Just walk, you know, or do like little runs, not too much. You'll find her. I recommend like spine snapping it or just using range strats. Try to pelt any seekers with frost arrows as they come in. If your mage friends have found her with staff members, keep the DOT up with fire arrows, spine snap fire arrows, or huntsman bow fire arrows. Just keep that DOT up, and you'll be fine. Like, as soon as you found her with range strats, it's like, okay, you know, you can come to me. You know, I'm chilling, you know. We're in the long range. I don't benefit from this at all unless I'm slinging stuff at you from long range. You can enter the mid range, at which point you literally reset to the same thing. Same strategy. Now, her charge, her rush, is a rush, which doesn't deal any damage to you, and then an attack right after the rush. So she rushes at you, she's like, ah, and then whoosh, and that cracking sound is when she's actually attacking. So it's like, dun, dun, dodge. Dun, dun, dodge. As it starts, she's like, boom, boom, and then she attacks. So she rushes at you, boom, boom, attacks. In that sort of timing. So once you know that, it's like, you don't really have to worry about the first part of the rush. It's like, okay, you want to, you know, cuddle? That's okay. You just dodge the next part, and that's wonderful. At which point you can punish her again, but I would actually recommend not doing so. Literally just like you can demolish your bunker for your mage, like switch to Staff of Embers, and then just like do a reverse jump like this with Feather Cape, and then just like ping her with the attack. Like it's boom. Super nice. Let's see. You could totally do as a sword main Crom middle mouses. It's just a little bit more tricky for timing. So like you could totally like start Crom slamming her when you punish her spit. You can Crom middle mouse her during that like first phase when you're like all pressed up against her like that. Like that's cool. That's going to be better DPS than Mistwalker, but Mistwalker is going to be there to kill the Seekers easier. And Crom oftentimes has that multi-target attack penalty, which one-handed swords don't have. I don't know why Crom has that. And one-handed swords don't. Give Crom cleave, please. Yeah. Crom. Actually good versus Queen. Getting those beefy middle mouses exceptionally good. Mainly good for that first phase. Somewhat good during the second phase, but again, like once there's a bunch of Seekers and things around, the Mistwalker is kind of better. So honestly, it'd be perfectly fine to just Mistwalker that whole fight. I've done it. Pulling the Crom out when it's all hectic, no good. Not good. No. The Demolisher gives me more niche use in that fight. But yeah, still Crom. It's got potential. It's just got really high recovery on the middle mouse, so you can act a lot faster out of the one-handed sword middle mouse. So Mistwalker might be a little bit better as an all-rounder in that fight. Demolisher can clean up what the Mistwalker can't efficiently. Or Staff of Embers if you're a mage. Okay. Hope you've enjoyed my weird Queen theory. It is incomplete. This theory is guaranteed going to be, like, almost certainly going to be bad by the time I've, like, thoroughly tested it out. Like, I'm probably going to have found, like, more unique stuff about meleeing the Queen, or non-magic user versus the Queen. Like, there's almost certainly going to be way better strats with non-magical characters that I'm going to find out. I will work and find it out. But I hope you enjoy and helped enjoy whatever Queen fight you might have in the future. Yeah, April Fools, everybody. Nice tier list. Yeah, mage content soon.